What's always so nice about this show, our chime time right now, 7:01. I love this portion of the show because I'm with a whole bunch of friends. It's like they're visiting me, and we sit on a couch in our living room, and Jody and I talk to them, and it's just very informal and really nice. I have one of those friends on the live line with me right now. I haven't talked to her in a while, but boy, we had many great gatherings together, and of course, I play her music all the time. Cousins, here's some Motown royalty for you, right? Cousins, here's Martha Reeves. Good evening, Martha.
Hello, Cousin Brucie.
Oh, Martha. How long has it been, Martha? Too long for me.
How long has it been since we spoke?
Yeah. How long has it been?
Oh, wow. My son just turned 50.
Oh, my God. Martha, I have such memories of us. Remember, you and I think the last time I remember seeing you was at the Motown Cafe. I was on 57th Street in Manhattan. Am I wrong? I think that was probably the
Motown Cafe, okay. And it was going to be a sensational place to enjoy the Motown sound and eat food that was named after Motown artists.
Right.
And it didn't last very long, but it was a joy being there with all the great artists who showed up for the opening.
That was nice. And they did a nice job. It was decorated nicely, and it was a nice Motown feeling to it. Well, let's talk about you now. How have you been, first of all? What's been going on with you the last couple of years?
Well, I wanted to, first of all, say that it was wonderful listening to Marvin Gaye and me and Rosalind and Annette singing Pride and Joy behind him. That was the thrill of being at the Hitsville, USA address, 2648 West Grand Boulevard. I have, after being on city council, renamed that street the Berry Gordy Jr. Boulevard. I got my council members to agree with me that Berry should be commemorated on that street where the Hitsville, USA building is located. And
absolutely, yep.
I'm doing a lot of charitable work. I'm using my talents to take people on tours and raise money for different charities. So it's a great thing to be from a company like Hitsville, USA, Motown Music.
All right, so tell me, what are these tours like? What do they consist of? And if somebody wants to go on a tour, tell us how to do that.
Well, at 2648 West Grand Boulevard, or should I say 2648 West Grand Berry Gordy Boulevard, just call Hitsville and find out when they're scheduled. They're coming off of a renovation and a COVID water break tragedy. There's been one thing after the other delaying the reopening of the museum. However, we're supposed to start our first tour on the 22nd of March.
And what do you think? Is it on schedule? Do you think it's going to happen?
I know it is because we've been postponed a whole year. So I know it's.
Great.
I've been there, and we had a party there not long ago to assure me that they'll be ready and complete to open up and let us take our tour.
Great. So, Martha, what are we going to see when we go into the museum? Give us a quick, audio tour, a little bit.
Motown started in the 60s. In fact, in 1959, I graduated high school, and that's when I heard about Little Willie John, and I heard about Bob Johnson, and I heard about Mary Wells, and I heard about Berry Gordy and his family opening up a studio, and I heard about the Temptations, and all of us somehow gathered there with the miracles that were in the not the elders. I can't think of their names before, but we all met up at the Warfield Theater as amateurs, and somehow we all wound up there with Berry Gordy at his house on the boulevard, and it was immediately named Hitsville, USA. So it's like a reunion to go there and visit all of the history, see all of the decorations and all of the posters and all of the things that's our history, our Motown music history.
A lot of clothing. You have your gowns that you wore on stage and things like that.
Cousin Brucie, I'll be honest with you. We worked. We perspired in those clothes. None of our clothes existed. They weren't of fabulous materials in the first. We got things out of stores, and sometimes we had someone to design our clothing, but they didn't stand up very well to the rigorous work of performing we would do 4 to 5 shows when you gave shows at theaters. Murray Kaufman and all of the DJs who would have us perform for those lengths of time in those different theaters and different nightclubs. Those clothes did not last.
That's absolutely amazing. Well, that's good. It's sad, but it's good to hear how hard you worked. Now, what about today? What's going on with you today? Appearances in order? You going on a road? Are you doing any of that stuff anymore?
I'm going on my 65th year of show business.
Wow.
And 2023 is my Jubilee year. The first album to release, Come and Get These Memories, on Motown label, we're celebrating that 65 years. And so I will be doing a lot of those meet and greets and tours commemorating the 65th year of our career. I got to say my career because I've had various backup singers, and through the years, I do credit the fact that I was the first to be the A&R secretary at Motown's A&R department. Mm-hmm. I went there for an audition, but was asked to answer a phone, and I wound up being in their office to settle disputes between the musicians and schedule sessions and do demos and be there when the union man came in. So I got a special love in my heart for this business and how far I've come just by answering a request. I was given a card while I was performing as Martha LaBelle and said, "Come to Hitsville, USA. You have talent."
How did they know? How did they know you had talent? How did they know you were able to sing?
I was doing a happy hour at a nightclub called the 20 Grand, which everybody that was famous played the 20 Grand on Warren and 14th on our west side of Detroit. And when I was awarded, I won a contest as Martha LaBelle, and my reward was to go to the 20 Grand for 3 nights, $5 a night, my first employment, and I did 3 songs. A Gin House Blues, Fly Me to the Moon, and Canadian Sunset. Canadian Sunset was in my heart because I thought Canada was part of Detroit. Before 911, we could go to that country, which is just across the river from us. Right. We could go to that country, and there was no immigration papers, no passports needed. All you had to do was have the toll fee or the money that it took you to go across the river. So Canadian Sunset was a big song to me. And I got over it because one of the producers from Hitsville, USA, William Stevenson, the A&R director, walked up, handed me a card and said, "You have talent. Come to Hitsville, USA." Well, we had heard about Hitsville, USA because of the DJs like yourself playing our music and telling us all about Berry Gordy and Mary Wells and Marv Johnson, the first artist, The Miracles. And that's where I met Stevie Wonder when he came for his audition in that A&R department. So I was chosen, I guess, and called and answered the call. And, wow, all these years we've enjoyed being from a wonderful company with a whole lot of good music.
Oh, listen, we are the ones that are lucky. We are the ones that are lucky that we found you. We are so happy. And I know you sang background with so many of the wonderful performances. What was the big break? Like Berry or somebody come over to you and say, "Hey, Martha, let's do a song with you. Let's do something special." How did that happen?
The very first day I was there, I was singing with the different producers. There were 17 of them that came in that little tiny office. And they would ask me to look in the dictionary and find words that rhymed or sing little phrases for them as they worked at that one little tiny Stinette piano that was in that office. So I was singing the first day I got there. I was chosen to come there as being a singer. I was in a nightclub singing with the trio, the Levi Band trio. And that's when I was discovered. So I was a singer when I walked in the door, already prepared for stage.
So
and
I
was
just sort of waiting for the right opportunity to hit.
I got where I could fit in, Cousin Brucie. I was singing with men in the background of some of the songs that we demoed. I was taking notes and making appointments for the musicians, and I was like a Girl Friday because I was able. I have a commercial course in high school. I tell everybody that I speak with who wants to be encouraged or want to know about how to be famous and succeed, you got to study. You got to do your homework. I had a commercial course, so I knew how to take dictation. I knew how to answer a phone. I knew how to take notes and how to keep records.
And you were willing to do this because, you know, Martha, so many young people come over to me, people, and they'll say, I want to be a recording star. And I'm sure if you ever heard anybody say that, you'd be kind of angry too, because it doesn't work that way. Look what you did. You paid your dues.
No, my singing started in church. My grandfather was Methodist minister. I had 8 siblings younger than me. I'm from a family of 12 children.
Wow. 8
of them were younger than me, so we were the choir at our grandfather's church. So when I got to Hitsville, USA, it was just like being at church, because all of those talented musicians and all those talented singers were combining their talents and making that Motown sound that we're so famous for.
Right, and that's how it all developed. Well, so you had your own choir within your own family at Grandpa's church. You know, so many performers like yourself say to me that they got their start in church, gospel. Such an important part of your life.
Plus, my dad was a blues singer. He idolized B.B. King and John Lee Hooker, and he used to woodshed. My dad played a beautiful blues guitar, but he never wanted to be famous. Then I guess the father of 12 children, he couldn't very well travel or leave home or anything, but he did have the talent. I learned a lot of things about singing and music from my dad.
Well, obviously, the DNA came from someplace, so you had a musical family. Yeah, you're very lucky.
Idolized Billie Holiday. Ruby Mama, that had all them kids, she idolized Billie Holiday and would sing us to sleep. We didn't have television in my days until maybe when I was a teenager. So Mom and Dad were our entertainment. We listened to the radio a lot. But that was our way of learning music through Mom and Dad.
Right. And not only that, but the family, having the family together like that with music is such a connection. It's such a connection with a family. And so you were very lucky to have that with your siblings. Really great. All right, Martha Reeves. We're talking to Martha Reeves here, cousins. And where do we go from here? How can people find out where they can see you?
Well, the internet has been everybody's advertising spot. There's a new label. I have new management. Mm-hmm. Chris Rowe Management. And anything that you would want to know about Martha Reeves from now on will be through the Chris Rowe Management.
So how do you spell that for us? So his first name is Chris, C-H-R-I-S.
I-S. And his last name is just like the fish eggs, R-O-E.
Chris
and
Rowe.
he has a management company, and it's online, and they can look it up, and he will direct you not only to how to book us, but how to get memorabilia and know our scheduling. And I'm also trying to get my star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame.
Wow.
So he's heading that for me.
Well,
and
believe me, anybody who gives you an award is doing themselves a favor. And you deserve every award. There's no doubt about it.
It's going to take the effort of all of my fans. And Chris he's located in Burbank, California. But there is a post office box if anyone is interested to follow up on my career and my new management.
All right. Well, listen, congratulations and good luck with the new management. They're very fortunate having you. So,
I'm very fortunate to speak with you. You have brought us all the way. You have been with us all along, Cousin Brucie, and I just love you so. And what a thrill to talk after all these years.
Listen, I'm very lucky to have found you early in my career, because if it wasn't for you and your colleagues and the people that came out of Motown and all over recording industry, I don't know what we'd be doing today. And Martha Reeves, thank you. Let me ask you a question now. Now, the song "Dancing in the Street." I've read all kinds of, theories about that song. What is it about that song that makes people write that? It's political, it's not political, it has other meanings to it. How do you feel about that song?
I'm from a generation that didn't have a place to dance. Mm-hmm. We didn't have recreation halls. There were no dance halls in my neighborhood. And you couldn't very well dance too much in church, or they think you were a lunatic. We would break the rules and put horses and yellow tape and block the street off. My dad worked for the city of Detroit, and the man across the street worked for the bus company, the Detroit bus transit system. So they got together and went to the city council. I was on city council for a while. I think that's why I wanted to be a politician, because they were so good to my dad and Mr. Elliott to let us block off our block and dance in the street. On Saturday night, we could block the street like tonight. Most times when you're performing, Saturday night is the hottest night of your performance. And I'm glad to be talking to you. I got something to do because it's been really, really boring sitting around waiting for the weekend. Anyway, Dad was clever enough with this guitar playing. We had record players at that time to put on porches, and they would feed the neighborhood. But it's just one block on the east side where my dad and Mr. Elliott blocked the street off and let the whole neighborhood come out of their houses and get on this cobblestone pavement and dance to the music. They even cooked a goat one time. I didn't want any of that goat. I didn't realize, but I guess my dad had a West Indian background. His name was Elijah Joshua Reeves, Jr., and we came from Alabama. I'm not a city person. I'm a country girl. And I was thinking of the other day, I did attend Lee Strasberg's Theater Institute to learn how to get rid of my southern accent. But I'm just a country girl from Alabama. You fall Alabama. And having that experience in the city, having that much fun in the neighborhood, made us feel like we're from Detroit, and made me feel like the city is the place to be.
Oh, thank you so much for clearing that up. That's exactly what I've always believed in my heart. That it was just that plain and that simple and that common and that wonderful. Now, here's my last question for you. Are you going to run again for public office?
No, can I just elaborate a little bit? When I heard Marvin Gaye singing it in the studio, he was singing it like a ballad. T. William Stevenson and Ivy Hunter, God rest his soul, he just passed away, had written this song, and Marvin was singing it like a ballad. Calling all around the world, are you ready for a brand new beat, baby? Summer's here and the time is right. And when I heard him sing that, I said, wow, that's a pretty song. But he was singing it to his girlfriend or his woman. Anyway, he looked over and saw me peering at him in the studio window because I admired him so much. I followed him around. We sang on Hitchhike, Double Time of Elder, Pride and Joy, and this first album. And it was always a joy to see Marvin do anything. He was so fine. Anyway, I was watching him, and he looked and said, hey, man, let's try this song on Martha. And so when they gave it to me, I couldn't sing it like he was singing it. I said, can I sing it the way I feel it? And I thought about dancing in the street in my neighborhood on Riot Hill between Leland and Illinois for anyone who's ever been in Detroit. And I just pictured myself with the neighborhood just dancing in the street, free of cars and planes and the police, because there was a time in the 60s where the police wouldn't let you gather. They thought you were going to start a riot or be a riot. And so we had to be careful that we had permission to dance in the street. So when we got it, it was as free a feeling, I guess, as it was when we found out that we could be free as people. Oh, it was wonderful to dance in the street with the neighborhood. And I tried to express that when I sang it.
Thank you. Thank you for clearing that up. So did you answer my question? You think you'll ever run again for office?
I'll never do that to myself again.
Okay, we'll leave it there. Martha, you are so delightful. You are so delightful. I always remember being so happy, when we said goodnight and when we met all the time. You are just a real people person. And it comes across on the stage, and I hope that you continue giving us your poetry and your talent. And we love you, Martha Reeves. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Cousin Brucie, and visit me again real soon.
And we're going to, you know what we'll do? Let's do dancing. You want to introduce it?
Yeah. Thank you, Marvin Gaye, Ivy Hart, and William Stevenson, for making me a song that'll live forever. I love you, Cousin Brucie, and thank you.
Thank you. Love you, Martha Reeves, cousins.